The AQ war effort will be completed today on most servers, so the AQ gates will be opening in just over 5 days. In today's video, we're going to cover the very best items for Fire Mage in Phase 5, what priority you should get them in, what stats you should be going after, and everything else you need to know about gearing in Phase 5. But before you skip ahead to the final list, there's just one thing you should know about. So I really urge you to listen to this bit, then you can skip ahead after if you really want to. So if you didn't know, BIS stands for best in slot, and having a BIS list basically shows you the best of every single item on every single slot. And this is great, right? So why do we need a video about it? Well, while it's great knowing exactly what your best items are, in the real world, reaching full BIS rarely ever happens, especially in Classic. So it's important to understand while having a BIS list is a great tool, there are so many different factors and variables that come into play. So this basically makes it impossible to blindly follow a list. There is a priority for stats, and the best way to fully determine what's best for you is to run simulations based on your current raid setup and gear so you can fully understand what is actually an upgrade or not. That said, I will continue with my BIS list and I will give you a few options per slot so you know what to aim for. But if you really want to min-max, then I recommend checking out the Mage DPS cheat sheet in the members section of my channel. This will give you gear upgrades tailored to your individual needs, so you'll know exactly what to go for. And now for my list, I do like to explain for each slot, so I have added timestamps for every slot, so feel free to skip ahead now that you understand. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so starting with the head, we have the Mage from BWL. This is absolutely amazing, obviously the spell power and crit, but again, this depends on what your stats are currently. Technically, the Enigma head is on par with this if you are not hit capped, so bear that in mind. If you need the hit, then you can go for the head. Like I said, you might not have the tier, you might not have the full hit, therefore the Enigma head would be the best. Unless you're hit capped, then you go for the Mage. The next best, if you need the hit, is the Spellweaver's Turban. This is a new item that has been added. You can get this in Upper Blackrock Spire. Otherwise, if you don't need the hit, then of course you have the rank 13 helmet, you have the Eye of the Flame, or you might potentially be running the PvP head for the 2-set bonus, depending on what gear you have. So now you can see why there's so many different variables and options. And now for the neck, we have this Amulet of Vecnilash. Very nice neck, but it is basically on par with the choker. So if you do have the choker, you might want to pass this to one of your teammates. But if we're talking the absolute best, then the amulet is actually better. The next best you can get is the Charm of the Shifting Sands. Now this comes from the head quest in AQ20, so everyone will be after this, but it is a guaranteed drop at the end, so you can always go for that. Otherwise, we've got the Shell Necklace now in Strat. 1% hit, 9 spell damage, very nice, but you'd only really use that if you need the hit. If you don't need the hit, then of course Orb of the Dark Moon would be your next best option. So yeah, 4 very good options there. Now for the shoulders, we have the Mantle of Pharaonic Power. This is actually just on par with the Mantle of the Blackwing Cabal. That said, the extra stamina and intellect is what makes it better here, but honestly they are basically the same. If you don't have either of these, then it's like you have the PvP shoulders, because this will complete your 2-set bonus. You will most likely have these already. If for some reason you're not doing PvP at all, then you'd either want the Neverwind Mantle or the Boreal Shawl. For the cloak, we have this Cloak of Devoured, which gives 30 spell damage and 1% hit. But it does drop from Cthulhu, so it's highly contested. But it is 7 points better than the Cloak of Consumption. Now, if you don't need the hit on your cloak, maybe you're still running the Bloodvine set and you've capped it elsewhere, then the Cloak of the Broodlord is a good option as well. But obviously you can see the Cloak of Devoured is actually more spell power and it has the 1% hit. So if you get hold of this cloak, then that's really good. But again, when we talk about priorities, this cloak is not actually your 100% priority, because we really want the cloak in Nax, because it's BIS even in phase 1 of TBC. We have the Enigma robes. These have 39 spell damage and 1% crit. It also has some spell penetration there. This is the absolute best if you have all the hit in other places, but you may still be running the Bloodvine set, which is absolutely fine until you break this set. Or if you've broken this set, there is a small chance to get this Garb of Royal Ascension. It's more spell damage than the Bloodvine set, and it still has the hit on there, but the absolute best is the Enigma robes. Otherwise, the Robe of the Archmage is still very strong. They're basically on par. It doesn't have the stamina, extra intellect, or the spell penetration on there. That's why the Enigma is actually better, but using this is still absolutely fine. But if you're not a tailor, then you could look at the Robe of Volatile Power from MC. It has nice crit on there, but yeah, the Enigma robe is the best. Now for the braces, it's the Rock Fury braces. These are the absolute best. It's a bit of an annoying grind, but I have a video and a spreadsheet which will show you exactly what to do for these, so you can go and do that. For the weapon, it's of course the rank 14 weapon. If you have this already, then you will keep it. It's absolutely fine. If you don't have it yet, then you'll want to get this sharpened Silifid Firma. It's basically equal to the rank 14 one. It has a little bit more stamina, but yeah, either of these are fine. Otherwise, you still have the Claw of Chromagus from BWL, and you can pick up this Blade of Vaulted Secrets from AQ20. Otherwise, you have the Blessed Staff as well, which is good if you need the hit. 2% hit, 76 spell damage, and 1% crit. Or you have the Staff of Shadow Flame, of course. It depends if you need the hit or not. For the offhand, it's the Royal Scepter. This is going to drop from the Emperor in AQ. It's very, very nice because it gives us 1% crit, 1% hit, and 20 spell damage, as well as, of course, the Stamina and Intellect. Very, very nice offhand. Otherwise, the next best is, of course, the Tome of Fiery Arcana. You'll use this until this drops, assuming that you need the hit. But yeah, this is the absolute best, so definitely roll on it. For the gloves, of course, it's the DSG, Darkstorm Gauntlets. Very, very nice, 37 spell damage and the 1% hit as well. So you can see how we're getting our hits, so we can move away from the Bloodvine set easily enough. But otherwise, you've still got the gloves of Hypnotic Flame, which are very, very good for fire. You've got the Neverwind gloves as well, which are very nice. Or you could be using the rank 7 gloves still. This is for the 2-set bonus, so don't sleep on the 2-set bonus. This is very, very nice. For the belt, of course, the Eye Stalk Waist Cord. Very, very nice. You get a lot of good gear in this raid, but the issue is you can see it's all dropping from Cthulhu. So whether you actually get these items is a whole different thing. Otherwise, the next best is, of course, the Mana Igniting Cord. But the thing is, I have not seen one of these drop since the beginning. The next best would be the Firemaw's Clutch, which is in BWL, which is nice. ZG option is the Belt of Untapped Power. Otherwise, if you need the hit, you can still use the Bank Fox Sash as well. Now for the legs, these are very, very nice. The Leggings of the Festering Swarm. This is specifically for fire. It does 57 fire damage, so this is nice when you're competing against other casters. It's the absolute best, but you can of course get the Leggings of the Black Blizzard from AQ20 as well. These are very, very nice. They are best for Frost as well. So if you play Frost a lot, then you can take these because of course these ones are fire only, but they are the absolute best. Otherwise, you may still be running the Bloodvine set as well, which would be the pre-bist before these options. For the boots, we've got the Enigma boots. They are very, very nice boots. The next best is technically the Boots of Epiphany or the rank 12 boots, but you would only really be using these if you're not using the Bloodvine boots. The Bloodvine set bonus is very good, so you would probably keep hold of these, or you may be using the rank 10 for the 2 set as well. And now for the rings, we're going to talk about the Ring of the Fallen God. Now, this is your absolute priority item here. The good thing is that one will drop every single raid is from the item that you get from Cthulhu that you hand in for the quest. The problem is every single person in the raid will be after this, so you're in competition with 39 other people. That said, if you get this ring, then you are set because it will be your best in slot 4 phase 1 TBC. It's a very, very nice ring. It's one of the best that you can take into TBC. So I would fully advise you at least soft reserve this. But it's a bit of a gamble. Like I said, everyone will be after it. I don't know how many people are going to soft reserve it though. But yeah, definitely go for this. And then you also have the Band of Force Concentration if you need the hit for that one. But the second best ring is the new Ring of Chaos. 1% crit, 25 spell damage. Very, very good. But it is a low drop chance. So whether you get one or see one is a totally different thing. Otherwise, you do have the Ring of Spell Power. You will have the Signet eventually by doing the quests if you get up to the right reputation, which is only slightly behind the Ring of Spell Power, so you could end up getting this one. If you're a new character, you can go for the Rune Band of Wizardry, but we're going to cover Pre-Bis in a different video. But yeah, that is definitely a good option as well. The Band of Vaulted Secrets, like I said, drops in AQ20. It's a good idea to get this if you want to get the set. I mean, the set bonus doesn't do too much, but the increased mana shield could help in boosting dungeons and things like that. And then another mention is the Don Mauricio's Band of Domination, which comes in this phase as well. There's a bunch of new items added to dungeons, and this is one of the very, very good ones that you can pick up quite easily. So if you're still rocking the Songstone of Ironforge, you can just go and get this one. Now for the trinkets, of course, it's Nefarian's Tear. This should be your hard soft reserve every single time you run. If you're like me, you haven't seen many and you haven't won it yet, then you'll be using the Briarwood Reed. These are what you're going to swap basically. You're going to run this one and then you're going to swap it to this one when this drops. For your second trinket, of course, you want the Mind Quickening Gem, but that's very rare to drop. Our guild has seen one since the beginning and I did not win it, so there's a low chance of getting it. Then again, I've seen other mages get it in the first week, so it's all down to luck. But this is very, very good. And you can take this into TBC as well. So this is kind of your main reserve in BWL. Now, if you don't have the Mind Quickening Gem, then of course you will go for the Zandalarian Hero Charm. This is a reward from the Heart of Hakkar, so you can always soft reserve this in ZG as well. That's your next best option behind the Mind Quickening Gem. After that, it's the Talisman. Now, if you don't have any of these unused trinkets, then of course you will just be using the Eye of the Beast. And then finally, for the wand, we have a new wand, which is slightly better than the Touch of Chaos. So if you've got the Touch of Chaos so far, you may as well just keep hold of that. Give this to someone that has a bigger upgrade, but if you've all got the same gear, then the 5 stamina is nice and it's 1 extra spell damage, so if it drops, go for it. Otherwise, the next best would be the Pyrrhic Wand. As you are a fire mage, it's very, very good. Or the Bone Creeper Stylus, as we've seen. So yeah, those are all the best items for fire. Now let's see if I can quickly go through every single one for the people that just wanted to skip ahead and not have explanation. You want the Mish Head. Unless you need the hit, then you'll go for the Enigma Head. The Amulet is the best, but the Choker is also very, very good, or the Charm of the Shifting Sands. The hit option here is the Shell Necklace. For the shoulders, either the Mantle of Phrenic Power or the Mantle of the Blackwing Cabal, or you could be using the PvP shoulders for the 2-set bonus. The best cloak is the Cloak of Devoured, but Cloak of Consumption is very good. If you don't need the hit, then you go for the Cloak of the Broodlord. For the chest, the absolute best is the Enigma Robes, but the Robe of the Archmage is only ever slightly behind. You would only use these if you are hit capped. If you're not hit capped, then you would keep hold of the Bloodvine set. Braces, it's the Rock Fury Braces. I have a video on this, so you should get these. For the weapon, it's the rank 14 weapon. If you don't have that, then go for the Sharpened Silliphid. Failing that, you've got the Claw of Cro-Magus, or you could get the Blade of Vaulted Secrets. For the offhand, it's the Royal Scepter. This is going to drop from the Emperor in AQ. Otherwise, the next best is, of course, the Tome of Fiery Arcana. For the gloves, it's DSG. Very, very good gloves. Otherwise, it's the gloves of Hypnotic Flame, the Neverwin gloves, or you could be using the PvP gloves if you need the 2-set. The best waist is the Ice Talk Waist Cord, but it drops from Cthulhu, which means it's unlikely that you'll get it. So go for the Mana Igniting Cord or the Firemaw's Clutch. If you need the hit, use the Bankfox Sash. For the legs, it's the leggings of the Festering Swarm. These should be fairly easy to get as they're fire only. Otherwise, you would be using the leggings of the Black Blizzard. Unless you need the Bloodvine set bonus, then use the Bloodvine legs. The best boots are the Enigma boots. Until then, you would use the Bloodvine boots unless you're using the PvP boots for the 2-set bonus. But most likely you'll use the Bloodvine until you have the Enigma. For the rings, you want the Ring of Fallen God. This is your priority. The next best is the new Ring of Chaos. Trinkets, it's Nefarian's Tear, otherwise it's Briarwood Reed. And the Mind Quickening Gem. If you don't have the Mind Quickening Gem, you should have the Zandalarian Hero's Charm. And then lastly is the wand. The new wand is great. It's 1 spell damage more than the Touch of Chaos, and it's 5 stamina. Otherwise, if you don't have either of these, grind out the Pyrrhic Wand. So yeah, that's it for your best in slot list. I know it went on for a bit, but hopefully this video helped you. Thanks for watching this video, guys, and have a lovely day.